Hello everyone. Today I wanted to bring you this nice ESV reference Bible. So this is a nice classic Tru-Tone coffee design colored case. It's nice. You can see this inlay design on here. So this is an ESV, and do is go to an overhead shot. I'll show you a little bit more about it. All right, everybody, what we have here is an ESV reference Bible by Crossway. So this is their Tru-Tone Coffee Edition. 80,000 center column references, full color maps, concise book introductions, double column format with center column references. So let's pull this out. I like this cover. This nice chocolate. They call it a Tru-Tone leather, which is more leather-like than some that I've seen from Crossway. Let's see your ISBN number. If I can tilt it just right, you might be able to read that. I like the ESV logo all kind of embossed in here. So it's stitched all the way around on the outside. Standard gold gilt. One black ribbon. Looks like a paste down construction. Pretty nice. So it does have a little bit more than a standard presentation page. So it has your normal presentation page, and it has marriages, births, and adoptions. So this is something that if you wanted to pass it down in your family, you'd be able to keep a small genealogy here. So go into the copyright pages, Holy Bible's English Standard Version. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. HarperCollins, it looks like. So, printed in China, published by Crossway, not HarperCollins, sorry. Very nice. So your standard contents, up with the preference and explanation of the features, including the way they do their cross-references, your standard Old and New Testament, a table of weights and measures, a concordance, and maps. Let's get in here. I always recommend reading the preface. You'll hear me say that a lot. So it gives you an idea of their translation philosophy and any other notes and hints they'd like you to know about. And noting on their textual, this has textual footnotes as well as references in the middle. Your explanation of your features and how to use their cross-referencing system. So that is something that's handy. So they break down how they, an example of the references and how to actually read the references to figure the where you're actually supposed to go for the reference, which I had to actually go back to a couple of times myself. So as we go into the Old Testament, so has a nice, quick overview of the book of the Bible that you're reading. Dual columns with your center column references and textual footnotes on the bottom for the translation notes, typically. There isn't a lot of room to note, so this really isn't a notation Bible, but I like it for the cross-referencing. This is probably going to be my more day-to-day Bible that I read from as I do my notes for my study notes. Nice, clean. There is some ghosting. You can see it in the cross-referencing section because it's, there's not much in the very center of each of these. I suppose if you wanted to take notes, there's a very little edge. Surprisingly, the text doesn't go down into the gutter. You would think it would with the center column references, but it's very clean. I like the text. Even though there is some ghosting, it's kind of out of the way. You don't see it as much. I do like that. Let's keep going here. So, the Exodus. Let's kind of jump ahead here, and we'll see if we can get into a poetic passage. See that in Samuel. It's kind of noticeable here when you get a poetic section and the standard text side by side. So it isn't really line matched, but it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference here. Let's kind of jump forward some more. And we'll go into Job and the Psalms. So there's quite a few references. I've noticed that a lot, and they're really relevant. Some of them have like multiple references for each line, and it doesn't take away that much from the reading, in my opinion, as well. Let me jump ahead a little bit more here. Pass into Isaiah. And one of the features I like about it, it's not often you find in the New Testament here. Jump ahead. So jump into the New Testament. This is a red letter Bible. I personally like to have red letter Bibles, but there are quite a few that don't. And a lot of ESV Bibles that I see out there are not red letter. So if that's something that you want, this actually is pretty decent. The lettering is not really super dark, almost pink in some places, but it's really consistent, blends in nice. And we'll jump ahead up toward the end. So yeah, I do like these little summaries. They're very nice. And I'll kind of zoom a bit farther. Get to the end of Revelation. See what we got here. So it looks like Revelation ends on page 1252. Since this is a smaller type font, it's not super small. It's very readable. Table of weights and measures. A concordance. Introduction to the concordance. Now the concordance is kind of small. Noticeably smaller than the rest of the text. But there is a lot of information that they're packing into it. I mean, I like that. The significant section. So it makes it easier to kind of find what you're looking for. I do like that a lot. So we jump to the end of this concordance. We'll get into the maps. Clean, crisp color maps. And we'll go toward the end here. That's a pretty nice one. So you can tell it's a sewn binding. You can see it really well here. Very clean. I love the texture of this. This feels really good. I have another little ESV, which is my pocket one. Now, this is supposed to be a Tru-Tone as well, but as you can see, it's much smaller. And the texture, I really like the way this one feels. And this one kind of feels the same way, but it has the coloration on there for the coffee, which I don't know if you can see very well, the little light coloration in this. Even though this is a Tru-Tone kind of bonded leather, this will keep for quite a while. And this is probably going to end up being my daily reader. So I hope that this will actually serve me for quite a while. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I hope that I can bring more like these to you in the future.